Storytime about how my boyfriend has a secret child with another woman. We've been together for 5 years, and I never knew that he had a child. His son is now 7 years old. A little backstory. When my boyfriend and I started dating, everything was great. He was the perfect boyfriend. He would drop anything to help me. He paid for everything, was super considerate, fun, and loving. But everything started to change last year when we moved in together. He told me that his job was starting to give him night shifts. Essentially, we never saw each other during the day or spent any time together. He also started telling me that he was too tired to go out on dates. I'm a paralegal and my office is really close to our apartment. So during my lunch break, I would go home to eat. One time that I came home, I caught him talking on the phone in the bathroom. I could only hear that he was whispering and it sent chills up my spine. When he came out of the bathroom, he was shocked to see me. I asked him who he was talking to and he acted dumb. He said he was just ordering a pizza. He was actually supposed to be sleeping because he worked the night shift. I knew something was wrong. I decided to follow him that night to work, and guess what? He didn't go to work. He went to another woman's house. Part 2 is up. Part 2 of how my boyfriend has a secret child with another woman. I followed him that night to what I thought was his job, but instead he drove 10 minutes away from our apartment to another woman's house. I parked a few cars away so I could see what he was doing. That's when a little boy and a woman come running out of the house. The woman kisses him on the mouth and he carries the little boy and hugs him. Believe it or not, I instantly got sick. I got out through the passenger door and vomited. I was horrified. My first thought was that he was married and I was the other woman. They walked into the house and I stayed waiting for him the entire night. He left that house at 6 in the morning the next day. But before he could get into his car, I confronted him. He was obviously shocked to see me there. He confessed that was his son, that he wasn't married to the woman. They were only together. So I was right. I was the other woman. He explained that he wasn't in love with the other woman and that he didn't have the heart to tell her he was in love with someone else. He got on his knees and apologized. Part 3 is up. Part 3 of how my boyfriend has a secret child with another woman. He got on his knees and begged me for forgiveness, but I had already made my mind up. I told him he needed to move out by the end of the day. I got in my car and slept for about 18 hours. When I woke up, all of his stuff was still there. He was in the kitchen making me breakfast. I gave him a chance and I let him talk. He explained that he and the girl had a very toxic relationship and that I was the first woman he'd ever met that he truly loved. But I just couldn't get over the fact that he was lying to me every single day for 5 years. Instead of going to work, he was going to her house. I told him that I saw him kissing her and he said that that's just how they greet each other. He swears that they don't have anything going on between them. It's been about a week and he's still living with me. I basically gave him a second chance, but my instinct is telling me something's wrong. I met his son a few nights ago and we got along really well. He's a really cute boy and he loves his dad a lot. And I could see how much my boyfriend loves him too. I don't want to break my own heart, but I feel like I can't trust him anymore. He swears he'll never lie to me again. I have this constant stomach ache now, but I still love him. Should I stay with him or not?
Storytime about how my mom got with my sister's boyfriend. So a little background information. I was 13 and in 8th grade, and my sister was a senior in high school and she was 17. And my sister always had a new boyfriend. Like after 3 months of dating somebody, they would break up and then she would be with a new guy a month later. And this started whenever she was a sophomore. So yeah, she had a lot of boyfriends. Anyway, so she had started dating this boy, and we're gonna call him Ben. Well, lucky for Ben, whenever they started dating was right around the time when we were supposed to go on our vacation that we take every year. So my mom and dad said that he could come with us. So my sister, who we're gonna call Emily, she decided to bring Ben, and I decided to bring one of my friends, Carly. We drove down, everything was good for the first 2 days, and usually what would happen on this vacation is my dad would end up staying at the hotel and doing work while we were all out doing stuff. So my mom, Ben, and Emily were all out drinking at the bar 24/7. Like for part 2. Part 2 about how my mom got with my sister's boyfriend. So like I said, Emily, Ben, and my mom were out drinking 24/7 at the bar. And since this was a vacation that we took every year, my sister already knew a bunch of people down there. The one night my mom started feeling really sick at the bar, so Ben offered to take her back to the hotel. And at this time, my friend, my dad, and I were all down at the buffet in the hotel. So Ben took my mom upstairs to our hotel room, and my dad was like, "Oh, do you guys want to walk down to the fair?" We said yes, so he told us to go upstairs and get his wallet. So my friend and I go up in the elevator to our room, and I want to say this was about 20 or 30 minutes after Ben and my mom had went upstairs. So we get into the room, we hear the shower running, which was weird because we didn't think anybody was there. So instead of me calling my dad because it might have been a murderer, I go, and the door slightly creaked open, so I look through the door, and obviously I could hear you know what, but hers and his clothes were on the floor. Like for part 3.
Am I the asshole for refusing to remove a piece of jewelry at the request of my friend on her wedding day? My 31 female friend, 30 female, we'll call Mary, got married last week and I was in her bridal party. For context, we are friends from high school, and all of the other bridesmaids were her friends from college, who I hadn't met until her bachelorette party several months ago. I was supposed to attend the wedding with my own fiance, but he contracted COVID 5 days before we were supposed to leave and made the choice to stay home for everyone's safety. I tested negative and we don't live together. Our 5th anniversary of our first date was 2 months ago, and he got me a beautiful opal necklace on a gold chain, specifically to wear to the wedding because it complemented my bridesmaid's dress. I asked Mary in our bridal group chat if she was all right with us wearing our own jewelry to the wedding. She said no problem. Day of the wedding comes, all of us bridesmaids and Mary meet early in the morning for pictures outside the chapel. Mary sees my necklace and loves it, and actually asked if she could switch her necklace with mine. Some other bridesmaids chime in and say that it would be her something borrowed. I tried as politely as I could to tell her that my fiance got this for me to wear to the wedding, and especially since he can't be here, I'd like to keep it on. Mary and the other bridesmaids were persistent, saying it was her wedding and her pictures, and I wasn't being accommodating. But I firmly told them no. Mary then said if I could at least take it off, since it looked nicer than her own jewelry. Again, I told her I'd rather not. I'd like to share the wedding photos of myself in the necklace with my fiance. She was not happy. Neither of the bridesmaids were either. I received a lot of cold shoulders and dirty looks the rest of the ceremony and reception. I felt awful. After the first dance, Mary's sister came up to me to tell me just how upset Mary was and rude it was that I upset her on her big day. Am I the asshole? It's been more than a week and I'm still thinking about it nonstop. And Mary hasn't answered any of my texts.
Oh, man, that one's kind of hard. I mean, first of all, if a necklace ruins your fucking wedding, girl, you got bigger problems.
Oh my God.
A necklace, bitch?
Do you want to see it?
Yeah, I want to see it. Oh, it's really pretty.
It's cute, but
Yeah.
nothing to have your day ruined over.
No, and it's also minuscule. Like, it is so small. You probably didn't even see it. Also, why would you want to get married in a necklace that another man bought your friend? That's weird.
Your friend's fiance bought her as like an important gift to mark their relationship.
Yeah, like you want to wear that in your wedding photos?
What the fuck? That's some bad juju.
Yeah, like in your wedding pictures, like that you're
don't
gonna
like
have forever. You're gonna frame and have hung in your house. You
Bad.
want That's weird.
It makes me wonder if like she secretly at one point had feelings for her friend's fiance.
It's always something deeper.
It's
Because if
yeah.
it's just that, you're like you're Looney Tunes, bro.
Am I the asshole for pressing charges on a former friend for shaving my head in my sleep? A relative of what used to be a close friend of mine, who we'll call Gary for this story, contracted cancer. I was sympathetic and contributed $100 to a donation pool for their treatment. But Gary came to me one day and took off his hat to reveal a freshly shaven head. He said everyone in the family was doing it to support his relative, and so were mutual friends. Then he asked if I would get on the bandwagon. I told him I didn't want to because I like my hair. It's black, regularly combed, and well-styled. He said I could get a wig and actually brought his shaver kit. He was unboxing it when I told him this was not happening. I don't even really know his relative that he's doing this for. Am I the asshole for pressing charges on a former friend for shaving my head in my sleep? Called me an asshole and left angry. We didn't speak for a week, then last Saturday I got invited to a party at another close friend's house. There I found out that Gary tried the same thing on several friends and only a couple of them actually did it. He wasn't at the party, so I had a blast hanging out, playing video games, and listening to rock music. But I had way too much to drink and couldn't drive home, so they said I could sleep upstairs. I passed out on the bed and it was a blissful sleep till I was shaken awake by another friend who told me Gary showed up late and caught him shaving my head. I saw what I looked like in the mirror and wanted to scream like I was in a horror movie. He even shaved off one of my eyebrows. Am I the asshole for pressing charges on a former friend for shaving my head in my sleep? He had shaved off my hair and even one of my eyebrows in my sleep. Gary was there and acting proud of himself, saying, "Now you're gonna have to shave off the rest just like me, LOL. I was furious and called the cops. When they got there, Gary fully admitted to what he'd done and even said it was justified. The police didn't think so since this was classified as a form of assault, and they asked me if I wanted to press charges. I said hell yes. He cussed me out while they took him away in cuffs, and I tried getting my hair restyled into something presentable. There was no saving it, so now I'm bald too. Now Gary's family's telling me to drop the charges because Gary was off of his meds.